right that she overheard what you were talking about and decided that she wanted to tell you that she would read that article. So that's great. So there was a shift that took place at the boot camp around
Yes.
day 3. Tell us what happened after that time and what the boot camp was like for you. What did you do that you didn't think that you had the potential of doing beforehand?
Well, as I said, my whole attitude didn't change because suddenly someone else is saying, oh, yes, I would come to you. I would read what you had to say. I would trust that you knew what you were doing. I would pay you for your expertise. And all of a sudden, that's very empowering because now this isn't someday I want to do this. Now it's, I'm doing this. I can do this, and people will pay me to do this, and I do have value in the knowledge and the skills that I have. So what happened was all of a sudden I decided nobody's going to stop me. This is what I'm going to do, not this is what I want to do. This is my future, and I have that image in my head of where I want to be and who I want to be meeting with and what kinds of projects I want to work on. And so what happened was writing the one-page business plan was simple. Writing our marketing plan became easy. Writing the letter that we're going to mail to all of our friends and family telling them about our new business and how they can help us became easy. And suddenly I couldn't sleep anymore for all of the ideas popping in my head about all the people and the potential clients and the potential relationships with other people that they knew. All this was flooding into my head, and it just became really empowering. And the first day I went back to work after going to the boot camp, I almost couldn't sit at my desk. I was so miserable. I just wanted to leave. That's not what I want to do anymore. And now I have a whole new life, and that's the life that I want to have. And I owe it all to the boot camp.
Wow, that's great. You also were able to lead the boot camp, get your website up, and then I think you updated some of your information on LinkedIn, and then some other interesting things started happening as a result. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. One of the recommendations that you had made to all of us during the boot camp was to establish, ourselves on LinkedIn, to, update an existing page if we already had it, and to position ourselves as a new business owner. So I had an existing LinkedIn page, but I took your advice and went in and changed my current LinkedIn page and focused all on the grant writing and grant research, consulting for nonprofits, and my new line of work. And what happened in doing that is that the people that I was already connected with then saw that I had made updates to my profile, and they started clicking on my LinkedIn page. And as a result of that, I got an email from a colleague of mine that I worked with 30 years ago, who emailed me one day saying, what are you doing with grant writing? I happen to be on the board of directors at 2 nonprofits in the Atlanta area, and we need help.
Wow.
Well, that help just came in the form of my very first signed agreement and a $4,000 commitment for me to do consulting and grant writing for this organization for the next 12 months.
Fantastic. Congratulations. That is huge.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I just had my first telephone meeting with their executive director last week, and she is a very hardworking, wonderful woman that I connected with immediately over the phone. And one of the interesting things that she had shared with me was her fear about hiring an outside grant writer. And she said that she was afraid to do that because she never felt that she would be able to find anybody who could emotionally connect with her business, with her client base, with the people that she is helping, and that had always stopped her from moving forward with hiring a grant writer. And one of the things that I had mentioned to her early on was my story about how I became a grant writer and how 30 middle school kids 6 years ago changed my life, and now I want to do that for other people. And with me sharing that story with her and telling her how I felt, the passion that I feel for what I do, she immediately said, I have no fear now in hiring you as someone to help us, because I can hear and feel the connection you have with what we do. You have the passion, and I'm excited about that. So we're off to a great start. She even mentioned that she would love for me to come to Atlanta to spend some time with them, to visit her facility, and to see the young adults that they work with. And I'm thrilled. Was already looking at airline tickets yesterday. So I'm off and running, and I have a new career thanks to the Grant Writing Boot Camp.
Wow, that is so exciting. And you shared your story, and as a result of you sharing your story with her, she was so impacted. Lisa, you shared a small portion of this story with me earlier, and I love the story about how you just took these children, these young people that you took underneath your wings as they came over to the university. Would you open up and share a little bit more about what that story was like, so that those that are listening can get a feel for what really motivated you to pursue your passion in this area?
Sure. The young people that participate in this program are typically living in pretty low-income situations. Their families are farm workers. They're the laborers who work out in the fields, and they travel up and down the state and even over to Arizona and following the crops. And these are the children of the farm workers who the goal is to expose them to higher education. And working at a university, of course, you know, the university is eager to open their doors to everyone and to show them the great possibilities and opportunities that exist. But to me, it was more about sharing a dream with someone who didn't have a dream. And I could see in these kids' eyes when they first get to Cal Poly that they're afraid. They're not sure why they're there. They don't know anybody. Many of them have never been away from home before. And I might add that they come from all different parts of the state. So we've had students come from Fresno, Bakersfield, Santa Clara, from, 5-6 hour bus rides away, several hundred miles away. And so it's a frightening experience for them. And when they first got to campus on Sunday, they're afraid, unsure, they just don't really know why they're there, don't really want to be there. They're out of their comfort zone. And what I saw in them is the same thing that happened to me during the boot camp, is that in the beginning, you're fearful, you're withdrawn, you're negative, you don't want to participate. And then something starts to happen. The world starts opening up. And the world starts opening up for these students just through others showing them opportunities to learn, opportunities to share, opportunities to dream. And what happened with those kids is that we did the same thing that you did with us in the boot camp. We tell them, tell us what you want to be. What would you like to do as a career? And once they grasp that idea that they are just as entitled to have a dream and a goal as anyone else, regardless of where their family has come from,